Well, we're excited to come off that Air Force win, battled back, got down early, fought back, and built on a lead and played pretty good basketball for the most part. Now we have to answer the challenge. 2 days of practice, head to Albuquerque and play a very good New Mexico team on their home floor, 5-0 in the conference, and that environment is as good as you're going to play in college basketball. So we'll spend the next 2 days getting ready for a talented, well-coached team on their home floor.
What are some of the particular problems that this New Mexico team poses? I mean, certainly not as deep as last year's team, but they still have dominant Dent.
Yeah, Dent and Joseph are as good a point guard center combination as there is in the country. And most good teams are really good up the middle, and they're good up the middle, center and point guard. So we have to do a good job dealing with the ball screens and find a way to slow Dent and Joseph down. Then they have shooters around them. So obviously you take that away, you get caught over helping. They're capable of stepping it out and shooting threes on you, which is always dangerous in college basketball.
Coach, tell us about Kimo Ferrari and what he brings to the team.
Yeah, Kimo is just all energy. And we played him some in the preseason, and he didn't get minutes until last night. We were down 2 guys with the flu. We needed a deep bench, and Kimo came in and did a great job with his energy and his effort. And he impacted the game without having to score the basketball, which is a credit to Kimo and how hard he plays.
Is this as deep a team as you've had here at San Diego State, Coach? You can go 10, 11 deep, I mean, and play all these guys.
Yeah, our depth has been our strength this year, and we're not afraid to use it. You know, I don't know if there's been a game that we haven't gone 10 deep this year. So we will continue to play our depth as long as it's productive, and up until this point, it's been very productive for us.
You guys were down 20-8, called a timeout, and then went on like a 46-4 run. Was there something specific in that timeout? What finally clicked and turned the game around?
I mean, Air Force always has an ability to streak on you. And when they make 3 threes, which they did at that point in the game, they're tough to contend with. So I think we just settled in more than anything. Picked up our defensive pressure, created turnovers, and were able to run on those turnovers. So I think our defense just got more engaged, and that kind of set the tone for our offense.
You have a largely new roster that has never been in altitude before, never played in altitude. How do you approach a game like this, your first altitude game for 2/3 of your roster?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, altitude affects everybody differently. So to have these guys at altitude for the first time, we'll see who has an adverse effect on. Hopefully nobody. You know, we're going to get in there tomorrow and be playing inside 24 hours, which is usually a good thing. And we'll go let it all hang out, and we'll see what it is altitude-wise for these new guys for the first time playing at it.
Where do you look for when you say guys react to altitude differently? You have the new guys, you're on the bench, you're trying to figure out how quickly to sub. What are you looking for on the floor? What are the tells?
Yeah, I mean, there's the extreme where guys get a headache and they get sick and they can't play at all. And we've had that happen. Then there are guys that you look up and they're a step slow. It's not anything where they're bent over holding their knees. They're just slow to make a play. And sometimes you have to be keenly aware of that and be able to play a guy that doesn't look as fatigued, that can play through some of that. And that's what all teams have to do when they deal with it.
Will you talk to the team about it? I know some coaches don't like to pretend altitude doesn't exist, but you kind of embraced it and acknowledged it. That it's
yeah, we talk about altitude to a degree. We don't try to make it the end-all, be-all, but we tell them that we might go shorter segments for you if you're tired, and don't be afraid to ask to come out. You know, try to get a second wind, and we deal with it. We don't try to put our head in the sand and pretend it doesn't exist.
Any further questions for Coach Dutcher?
Coach, 10 a.m. tip time. Any big deal about it being such an early game?
You know, we played an early game in the players-only event, so we've tipped it off early. And over break, we've been practicing at 11 every day. So we've been going pretty early. Our normal practice time is like today at 1 o'clock, but we've been going at 11, so these guys are used to getting up and getting moving early in the morning.
Is there an update on DeMarche and Miles?
I think they're both doing better. I see Miles out here today. DeMarche, I think, is still a little under the weather, but hopefully they'll both be available in Albuquerque versus New Mexico on Saturday.
Anything new on Reese at this point?
No, Reese will have another medical test, I think somewhere around the 20th, and we'll see how the healing is going. It's good to see him not in a boot, though, out here in his gym shoes, so that's a step forward for Reese.
Was Farrell 100% on the ankle, or is he still recovering a little bit from that?
I think it bothers him to a degree. You know, he had a pretty good sprain, but he gutted through it. Now we got to get his timing back. He missed almost 8 days of practice and games. So now he's got to get his game timing back, and that may take a little time. So hopefully we can trend toward that way today in practice.
And Dutch, getting back to Waters, at some point, does it make more sense to shut down this season for him to stay the year of eligibility and play next year?
Yeah, we'll wait until we get the test, and then that'll be a decision Reese and I sit down and talk about, whether he wants to come back this year with a shortened season or whether he'd be interested in playing another full season. But that's a talk we'll have when we get those final test results.